ለዓለም ሁሉ በሕይወት ለሚኖር ሰው ሁሉ በሕይወት ለሚኖር ነገር ሁሉ ፍቅርና ሰላም እንመኛለን። Wish to me 1000 subscribes. Beautiful people, come here and subscribe like me. to support. Yeah, good people. No. If a monkey have a channel there, sure, subscribe. Also lions, also dogs, also cats. Like him and subscribe. I bring to you good news. Wish peace and love for every living things. It's a great wishing. Yeah, it's a great wishing. It's a grateful. So why come here?
In transboundary water management to help strengthen cooperation and governance among the Zambezi's riparian states. Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative. እሳቸውም ብርድ ስለሚስል በረደኝ ይላሉ በጣም እና በጣም ይቸገሩ ነበር። እንቅልፍ አልወስዳለኝ ይላሉ፣ ይቸገራሉ። አሁን እንግዲህ እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን አሁን በጣም ተደስተዋል። መጥተው አይተው ተደስተዋል። ምክንያቱም ይሄ በዚህ በኩል የለውም ነበር ከጀርባው አሁን በድንጋይ እንዲወጡ እንደዚህ ሲጣባብም ነበረች። አሁን ይሄ መኝታ ቤት ለብቻው ሆነ፣ ሳሎን ለብቻው ሆነላቸው፣ ዕቃ ቤት ለብቻው ሆነላቸው፣ አንድ ነበረ ደሳሳ ነበረ። አሁን በቃ የተስተካከለ ነገር ሆኖላቸው እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን። እናንተንም እድሜ ይስጣችሁ። With the Israeli military advancing on more than one sector along this border. But the advances have so far been limited. It's not clear whether this is because they are still not, planning to push with a large force. But Hezbollah is fighting back. Overnight, they say they managed to target an Israeli Merkava tank in Taibe. Taibe also in this sector of southern Lebanon. So the military has been able to set up stable positions.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other stories making headlines. Afghanistan's government says a Pakistani airstrike on a rehabilitation center in Kabul has killed at least 400 people and injured hundreds more. It's the latest escalation in a growing conflict between the two countries after a fragile ceasefire broke down in February. Wilson Dysart reports.
Anti-aircraft fire over the skies of Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. On the ground, scenes of bloodshed and horror, bodies burnt to ash. Afghan officials say that a Pakistani airstrike killed hundreds of civilians at a drug treatment center.
They were innocent civilians and admitted patients. There is no military base and there is no military-related departments or anything else. Fortunately, our rescue team reached to the area and we are searching for the patients also to the victims that they lost their lives.
Pakistan says it targeted a military facility in Kabul, as well as another one in the east. The strike marks a deadly escalation of the conflict between the two neighbors that has intensified in recent months, leaving hundreds dead. Pakistan has hit Kabul before, but without a death toll of this scale. The strike follows exchanges of shelling across their shared border that officials on both sides say killed several civilians. Pakistan accuses Afghanistan's Taliban-led government of supporting armed groups carrying out attacks on Pakistani territory. Hours before the strike, a United Nations Security Council resolution extended the UN's political mission in Afghanistan until June and urged the Afghan government to take active, immediate, and demonstrable measures to curb attacks. Meanwhile, the World Food Program says it's rushing relief to 20,000 people in Afghanistan displaced by violence. But with the world's diplomats consumed by a spiral of crises, a resolution to the Afghanistan-Pakistan conflict seems far away. Wilson Dysart, Al Jazeera.
Police in northeastern Nigeria say at least 23 people have been killed in bombings in the city of Maiduguri. Explosions went off in at least 3 locations in the capital of Borno State. A teaching hospital and 2 markets were hit. No group has claimed responsibility for the attacks as yet. Cubans have been protesting after a widespread blackout left 10 million people without power. The country's grid operator says the system has collapsed. The island nation is facing an energy crisis has imposed an oil blockade in January. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose tariffs on any country that sells oil to Havana. Trump has said he would be, quote, honored to take over Cuba. Well, I'm going to take a short break. Stay with us. The news continues at the top of the hour. Next, Inside Story looks at the difficulties the Strait of Hormuz possesses for Donald Trump's war against Iran.
We saw this reporting that we saw in Gaza when it comes to the war on Iran.
The Listening Post decodes the media on Al Jazeera.
The latest news as it breaks.
The situation looks to be far from de-escalation as the continuous exchange of fire remains the reality on the ground.
With detailed coverage.
As U.S. casualties mount from the growing conflict with Iran, 3/4 of Americans say that the country...
How do you start a new life?
Third week of the war in Iran, along with the disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, is sending oil prices to their highest level in years. And this morning, gas prices hitting another high. A gallon of regular will cost you $3.79 on average. That is the highest that we've seen in 3 years. For years, the United States has been the top oil-producing nation in the world, something the president touted during his State of the Union address just last month.
American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
CNN Business Executive Editor David Goldman is back with us this morning. Thank you for returning. I know it's early. The president touting this drill, baby, drill mentality. And he said, like, this is yielding strong results. He's been bragging about it. So why is the United States struggling to rein in these prices?
Well, he's right. I mean, we produce more oil in this country than any other country in the world, which is an extraordinary thing to think about. This isn't the oil embargo days of the 70s. Today, we kind of fend for ourselves here. So why can't we just have oil producers just pump more oil? Well, there's a good reason for that, because oil's at $100 today, but we remember that oil was at $60 just a few weeks ago. It's not like flipping on a switch, right? If I'm meant to draw more oil out of the ground, I need to make sure that that's going to pull down the road. And if I think that oil's falling to 60 again soon, I don't necessarily want to do that. I actually think it's a good thing that they don't want to start pumping oil. It signals that they might think that oil prices are going to fall again soon.
So you're sort of talking about the uncertainty of it all, which is also how the markets tend to react negatively to this uncertainty. What is the thinking, you think, in their mind that maybe this will be over soon?
Well, soon is relative, right? I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, the administration keeps saying. The question is, how long does this last? Because Iran this morning just said that the Strait of Hormuz will never be the same again. So even if, you know, Trump took his ball and went home today and we said we're not going to be involved in this war anymore, there could be lasting consequences for many, many months. The CEO of Delta today just said that, you know, if we have this going on for months and months at these prices, we could start to have to make some adjustments. So everyone is a little cautious right now. The big unanswered question, the thing I can't tell you today, is how long this is going to last.
Yeah, that is a question that everyone wants an answer to as soon as they can get it. David Goldman, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
John?
All right, with us now, CNN senior military analyst, retired Admiral James Stavridis. Admiral, thank you so much for being with us. The news that we're waking up to is Israel is claiming they have killed this man, Ali Larijani, who's the Iranian security chief, maybe the most powerful man in Iran over the last several weeks, maybe even several months. Also, they say they killed this man in charge of the Basij paramilitary force. This is on top, obviously, of already killing this man's father, the late Ayatollah al-Khamenei. This is Moshtaba Khamenei, now the supreme leader. He is said to be injured. So, Admiral, my question to you is, if they keep targeting Israel and effectively eliminating these leaders, what does that do to the stability of the regime, particularly the absence now of Larijani?
Let's park on Larijani for a minute. John, you'll get this reference. He's kind of the Cardinal Richelieu of this rotten theocracy. He's been floating around, manipulating, leading internal dissent. And now he ascended to the top with the killing of Khamenei and the ascension of Khamenei's son, who is probably gravely wounded. So this is a big deal. If killing Khamenei was kind of a 10, I'd say this is an 8.5. It's a big deal. And the character to the right is the leader of the Basij militia, truly dreaded by the people. So,
Hello, Morgan.
point one, this is a big
Thank
deal.
you for coming.
Point two, to your question, somewhere in the headquarters of Mossad and probably of Israel, they have a big board, pictures of all of these folks drilling.
Like and subscribe me.
Star down to 3-star, 2-star, putting it in military contact. They're going to continue to relentlessly go after these people. And point three, and finally, here's the good news. At some point, you may get down to a layer in a rock formation where you can actually have a conversation.
And again, both of these guys key in the crackdown of the protests over the last several months there. Maybe this will, if they are both in fact gone, inspire some kind of new uprising.
People are feeling the cost of the war at the fuel pump, where prices are surging. It's adding domestic political pressure. to Trump and his Republican Party, with midterm elections looming in November. Alexandra Byers, Al Jazeera for Inside Story.
Well, let's discuss all of the issues that are raised there with our guests who are joining us for today's Inside Story. In Colorado Springs, Eli Bremer, Republican strategist and retired major. In London, Andreas Krieg, Associate Professor at the School of Security Studies, King's College London. And in Bath in the UK, Patrick Bury, expert at the University of Bath and a former British Army officer. Thank you all three of you for joining us today on Inside Story. Andreas, let me start.
Thank you, Mary.
Iran clearly started this war with a weak hand, outgunned by Israel and the US, militarily degraded after attacks from Israel and the US last year and by Israel in 2024, and having lost its supreme leader. It appears they're using what they have, which of course is their geography.
Absolutely right. I mean, the US is now sucked into an asymmetric conflict against with a state. If you look at the IRGC, which controls the strait, especially the naval component of the IRGC, as a militia with a state that operates not like a state that cannot be decapitated, but more like a network. What they're trying to do, as many insurgent groups or terrorist organizations, other violent non-state, trying to disrupt and play a game of endurance where they try to extract concessions and leverage from whatever is available to them. And the most potent form of leverage that Iran can extract is from its geography, the fact that they are controlling the northern shore of one of the world's most important energy, if not the most important energy choke points, and doing that to extract concessions from the global economy, from the United States, and also showing that they could potentially keep on doing this for an indefinite period of time, making it impossible for a conventional state actor or a military to actually open them up as quickly as Donald Trump and others are suggesting.
Eli, I mean, yes, arguably what they're doing is a breach of the laws of the sea and the laws of war as well, but as a military expert, they don't have many other options. It's probably what you would suggest they would do, I mean, if they weren't your adversary, which is inflict economic pain on the world, hold the world's economy hostage, is it not?
Well, I think this is an incredibly logical response. As you pointed out, they don't really have a lot of other cards to play in their deck right now. So using their geography is obviously what they're going to try to do. But they're also going to try to pressure and get against this conflict, this war, by trying to keep oil prices high, because as your report showed, that is hurting public opinion in the United States. But the risk that they're going to have is if President Trump is able to bring in several other countries to work on this from a naval point of view, then Iran's going to have a really difficult decision, because they've made a lot of enemies early in the war by firing on their neighbors. If they fire on warships from other countries outside the United States who are escorting ships through the strait, then they risk really becoming a pariah globally, despite the oil prices.
So, Patrick, both of our other guests say this is a scenario
no one can.
Do you think that the US prepared properly for this scenario? Do you think President Trump properly weighed up the risks of this?
That's very difficult to say from the
Becoming
but I think we could say with a high degree of certainty that the Pentagon planners would have definitely prepared for this. I mean, this is one of the key courses of action